Hey YouTube, it's your boy Widgie here, coming at you with some more Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition. And we have another casted game, and this one is titled He Is Back, Baby. And if you don't know who this is, you should by now. He's playing Hauser, and his name is Bram, also known as Mr. Bram Boy, or Bram Boy, whatever you want to call him. And he has just recently returned back to AoE 3 DE, following the ECL, which is ESOC's Champion League, or Championship League, which is happening very, very shortly. And he's trying to get the practice in. And I have a game here of him playing Hauser versus a Russian opponent. And Bram actually kind of starred in a few of Ozzy Drongo's videos back in the day. And I definitely remember his name floating about. And he's a pretty high-level player at that time. Obviously, he's a little bit rusty. He's trying to de-rust here on this. And because it's Hauser, it's an interesting civ. It's something we don't normally see. I thought I would showcase this for Bram. And hopefully you guys find this really entertaining. So we're going to be mostly focusing on Bram here. We do have the Russian opponent on the north side of the map in the Cyan, and that is Tinown. So we're going to call him just T maybe, or no, Tinown. Tinown, there it is. Tinown on the north side, and of course Bram on the south side here, playing as Hauser in the pink. So Hauser, obviously African civ. Many people not huge fans of the African civs. I'm probably going to try to learn Hauser a little bit at some point. I do want to try and give them a go a bit more than I used to. And we can see here that usually the opening with Hauser and Ethiopia is when you have around 150 wood, you sell a cattle for that, you then build a house and you get hunting dogs. But because Bram is probably still relatively new to the meta and the opening, I don't think he's actually gone for that. So you can see his wood is actually still stacking up here. And he hasn't actually built a house yet. So I'm hoping, he is 10-10 at the moment. I'm hoping that he is going to realize and he's going to sell that wood and buy a house. I'm sure he will. Be very awkward if he doesn't, but we'll see. We'll see. And yeah, we can see there he's bought it, and now he's buying. Now he's building the hut. So the best thing, yeah, is normally that you should be able to go ahead and get the hunting dogs after it. So let's have a look at the land deck that he's got. So once again, it might be a little bit outdated here because I did play Bram in some other games and some of his decks are a bit outdated, but this one isn't terrible. We've got pretty decent cards here in Age 2 and obviously a ton of unit shipments here in Age 3. Sometimes I think 1000 Influence card, it can be pretty good in this instance as well. Also villager cards. That's something that he doesn't have as well, which is kind of crucial as well. So it's going to be interesting because he's actually playing on the ranked ladder at the moment. So this is a ranked game here. And I believe he's around 1650 elo at the moment. Obviously, that might go down a little bit as he is de-rusting. So we have to bear that in mind. But I thought I would do him the honors and give him this casted game. So he's going for the Gideon Sarkin, which is the palace. So he's shipping the palace, and that's just going to simply give him a Sanga cattle and a palace builder. There it is, boom, coming out right now. And his age up is on. Quite a 12 vil age up here. And usually I've seen some people go for the Hauser Kingdom a little bit sort of in transition, you could say. People go Hauser Kingdom. So, and obviously they try and time it perfectly so that when they are in Age 2, just as the minute they click into Age 2, this card comes in and it gives them a university and a trade builder. So immediately it'll give them a TP. And you can see here, Bram is actually going ahead and actually building that TP right there. And we can see, obviously, Tinown here, playing as Russia, is being quite aggressive. He's a little bit ahead in his age up. He's going to be going for the quartermaster, so 400 wood for him. And he's obviously putting a forward blockhouse here, being very aggressive. He's only using 1 vil to actually build that, rather than 2 or 3 that some people like to use. And something interesting that I've just realized with Bram is that he hasn't built a granary. I love this. So he hasn't actually built a granary, which is really crucial because number one, it helps with herding. It keeps your herds in really nicely. It also provides you with the upgrades that you need. So your hunting dog upgrades. And it also provides a boost, I believe, to your villagers who are gathering underneath it. So it's very crucial that you do build granaries, and they're absolutely free. They're free to build. So it's quite clear that Bram is a bit rusty, but we're going to see how this pans out because, you know, sometimes even though you are rusty with a civ, you're not too sure how they fully work, your skill alone, your foundational knowledge will help you and see you through. So you can see here the age up has now come in, and he's building a double war camp and immediately going for 700 wood. So he's going quite age 2 heavy here. And he's actually gone ahead and he's built double TPs here. This is quite a nice map to go for the trade post line because it's quite close to your TC. And 2 TPs and upgraded can be quite good, nice for you on this map. So I'd recommend that. And he's going 700 wood straight away. And immediately going for double Fulani here. So here we go. Let's have a look at Bram's vision. Boom. Some Strelets are walking into the base at 5 minutes 30 here. 1 batch out already. Interesting to see is that it's not a Musk start. We do now see, obviously, Tanaun getting his shipment of Cossacks coming in now as well. So this is going to be a little bit unfortunate for Bram here right now. He's only got the Falanis, and he does have a card available. Doesn't want to lose any Vils here. But the Palace here trying to do as much as it can. They should do relatively decent damage to the Strelets here. And his Explorer going down, which is unfortunate. But don't worry, because the Explorer actually comes back after a certain amount of time. It's kind of crazy. We do now see Javelin Riders coming in. So one of the most popular build orders or compositions for Hauser is the Fulani Javelin Rider, which is basically your Skirm Goon composition. It's very deadly. Falanis are very good when they do have their specific upgrades on them as well. And they actually shoot faster. They have a short bow for a fast attack. So when they are closer to enemies, they shoot faster. I believe that is the case. I'm pretty certain. It says they can gather livestock. Interesting. Didn't even know that. Didn't even know that they could gather livestock. Wow. Another batch of Strelets coming out, and now the Cossacks are going to be going back in for Tanaun. And yeah, Bram just needs to hopefully try and hold this off. Cossacks are going to try and go in. He's got a batch of Javelin Riders coming in right now. Very shortly, they're going to hopefully be able to dispatch it. But he doesn't want to get his Fulani into the midst there of the Cossacks. Javelin Riders are going to be doing a great job here. A couple of them going down. And that is a lot of Cossacks to lose for Tanaun. You don't want to lose that many that quickly, that early on. So Bram looking okay here. Also, Tanaun isn't actually really sieging Bram's TPs here. So he's kind of ignoring them right now. So Bram's getting some good XP, which is nice to see. But we don't see any granaries here, which is so strange to see. As I say, I don't think Bram knows about it or has forgotten about it, but yeah, it's kind of wild. Anyway, we do now see a shipment here of 7 Falanis, and I imagine that he might go for... Actually, I don't know what he would go for here. He could go for the Hauser Kingdom here. It's a little bit late, but it could get him a university, which aids in a few things. There's techs from the university that can really help you later in the game. And also, one of the major things is, you know, if they're near a palace or TP, so you could put one right here, and hopefully it would cover both the palace and the TP, and it will give you a bonus amount of influence. So you get a really good influence trickle, which is crucial because, you know, Hauser and Ethiopia use influence a lot. It's used for natives, mercenaries. So yeah, it's definitely recommended. And now we can see the Fulani specific upgrade. One of the ones that I mentioned, the Fodio Tactics here. So increasing their range and siege damage. But before that, he's going for 700 coin. I don't know if that's going to be for an age up or whether he's going to use that for continued Javelin Riders. But we can now see double batch of Fulanis are on the way. This is quite a crazy thing here. Adding 3 ranged attack damage. Just base. And also to siege. So yeah, so it'll back it up to 12 siege, and also he'll have 12 damage as well. Now he's actually getting the granary. There it is. Come on, Bram. Getting that granary down. That's what we like to see. Fantastic. And you can see now that granary is up. You can see here it improves nearby food and field gather rates. So very, very crucial to have. And something he hasn't actually had. So it's not doing too bad. For these things that he's missed, he's not really doing the standard opening with the selling the wood, building the hut, getting the hunting dogs. He didn't really do that 100% correctly. So there's a lot of things that he hasn't done by the book here. But he's doing okay. He's not doing too bad. The Russia player is slowly creeping ahead in score, which is not ideal. And we can see here that now there is a double blockhouse out. He is actually in age 3. I completely missed that. So Tanown here, now in age 3. And he was going to go for the Falcons, but he switched and he's gone for the Musketeers. So he's getting 13 Musketeers. But Bram said, you know what, I'm just going to push you right now, which is a really good idea. I would really recommend that. And he is going to be getting... Did he get his tactics card in? Yes, he did. So now he's going to be able to siege on that. Oh, sorry, no. The tactics actually doesn't increase damage. It increases range. Apologies. Yes, so it was 17 range. Now it's 20 range. So you can see really outranging Strelets here. The Falanis. And now some Raiders coming in, trying to switch it up there with the Cav. Also, 5 Raiders going to be coming in very shortly for Bram as well to try and deal with the amount of Strelets here. But Falani's doing a great job there, picking off quite a few units. And as we know, the Musketeers are relatively weak for Russia. And I imagine Tanown probably wants to think about getting some unit upgrades here. You know, he's in age 3. He's got another card on the way. He needs to kind of maybe trade up for a little bit of wood and try and get some kind of upgrade in. But it's not really looking too good for him. He's going to be losing the second blockhouse here. The double blockhouse is now down. And Bram is going to be moving in now. Vils are going to be retreating away. They're getting the hell out of there. And we do see a nice comp here. Javelin Rider, Falani with the Raiders. Raiders are going around the left side trying to see what they can find. Let's have a quick look at Bram's vision here. And is only the 1 TP for Tanown. We do have 24 Vils for Bram, 32 for Tanown here. So Tanown looking pretty darn good eco-wise. He's up in age. So it's definitely not down and out for him. His score is definitely ahead of Bram's. It does keep teetering above and below there. And we have another card available. And yes, he's going full on. He's going for Rumpus Riders. He's going to get 4 Lafides. Lancer type units. Scary. They have dual resistance. Kind of nutty units. And also queuing in a double batch of Javelin Riders here. So just really going for the age 2 here. Kind of crazy. And he's not using... He must be using his influence on something because it's actually gone down quite a bit. But I'm not entirely sure what he's using it on. As I say, TPs, native TPs can be very, very good for African civs because just getting that slow trickle of influence, you could just use it for stuff like that. I mean, you don't have to use it for cards. Oh, obviously he's used it for Rumpus Riders. But you can use it for cards, but you can also use it for your natives. You can also use it for mercenaries. And here we go, guys. Getting stuck in. Musketeers are not upgraded. Neither are the Strelets. Double Falk is here trying to unpack. Raiders just absolutely chopping through the Strelets. Falanis are in a perfectly fine position. They're going to be now moving in. They don't want to get in there. There is the WTRF from Tanown. He's a bit confused. The Raiders just chopping through, and there is the GG. Wow. Bram there coming out on top, just doing some basic micro, really. Nothing crazy there for Tanown to try and deal with. I'm very surprised that he lost so many units. I think there's a few things there that he needed to do. His veteran musketeer didn't really come in before he fought. Also, he didn't have vet Strels either. And if we have a look at his cards that he did go for 13 musks and he went for 2 falconets. Honestly, I think the Falcons could have been closer here. They were off on a random point here, you know, like they're really out in the open, not too sure. You kind of want to keep them close with the Musketeers. They could have dealt some damage with the Falanis. They could have kept them off. And the Musketeers were just not on the front there with the Strelets, I felt. But, you know, I've got to hand it to Bram there. Fantastic kind of timing for him to push out. Decent micro there. Even though he messed up the bit at the start, he didn't really have a granary down until, like, you know, 9-10 minutes in the game. So just think about Bram's power once he does get back up to knowledge with these civs. He starts to refine his deck. He refines his opening. He knows what he's doing. Trust me, Bram is going to be unstoppable. He's going to be really high up there. I've got high hopes for him, and I just hope that you guys enjoyed this casted game. Hopefully you learned something from this as well, not just from Bram, but from Tanown as well. And of course, let me know down in the comments below what you thought about this game. And if you're going to give Hauser a go, hopefully this has maybe motivated you, influenced you to maybe give them a go if you haven't already. Of course, guys, let me know down in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed this. I'll be catching you in the next video or the next stream. Catch you later, guys. Bye-bye.